Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making a pineapple rum sheet cake with a delicious butter rum buttercream on top. Yum. Very easy, very simple, can feed a crowd. What I've done is I actually sprayed a 9 by 13 inch cake pan and it's ready to go. And it's so simple. This feeds a mound of people. You can even double it. It's an incredible recipe and it's got just a little bit of rum in it. But before we get started on our baking, I would love for you to click that notification button because I want you to become a subscriber. And I don't want you to miss any of my videos and tips. I think you'll really enjoy them and I think you might learn a lot. So here we go. Pineapple rum sheet cake. So my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to get our dry ingredients going first. You know I like to get my mise en place ready. So in my bowl, and I have a whisk at the ready, 2 cups of all-purpose flours in the bowl, and then I have all my chemical leaveners and my spices ready to go as well that we're going to whisk in because we want them to be homogeneously blended. So I have 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I have, I'm sorry, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of ground allspice, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, all going in there. So remember, okay, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons baking soda. Baking soda needs an acid to react to form carbon dioxide gas bubbles and to form a neutralization reaction. And it needs an acid, and the acid we have today is not only pineapple, which is a little acidic, but also brown sugar. So I'm going to whisk these up, and you can really smell the spices. They smell yummy. All right, so I'm going to get those all blended because we want a beautiful fine crumb. That's why we want these chemical leaveners blended in very, very well. Okay, so in my electric mixer for our wet ingredients, this is really not the creaming method. It's sort of the one stage or the dumping method, but it does use softened, unsalted butter, and we'll get to that in a minute. So in my electric mixer, I have 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1 cup of packed dark brown sugar. Because when I deal with pineapple and a little rum, I love the deep, rich flavor of dark brown sugar. It's got that little, that molasses, a little unrefinedness quality to it, and I like that a lot. So we're going to add 4 tablespoons of very soft butter. All right, we're going to get that in there. And I'm just going to move it around a little bit. Get that butter in there. And I'm just going to move it around just a tad. I forgot my paddle, so I'm just going to go grab it. No biggie. I got it. So there we go. Just going to move it around. I just want to get the butter incorporated because next comes our crushed pineapple and our eggs. So I just want to get that in there. And it will not blend in, it will not cream because there's too little butter to the amount of sugars. So just have your rubber spatula handy. And I'm just going to push down any butter that landed on the sides and get them in there. Get in there, butter. All right. And now we're going to add, remember, it's not the creaming method, so don't worry about that. 2 large eggs, just put it right in. It's a very easy cake, actually. All right. This is 1.5 cups of crushed pineapple. Crushed. You don't want diced, you want crushed. And we're going to get that in there. Okay. It's going to be chunky because it's going to be pineapple-y. And this is canned pineapple. So it's probably about 1.5 of the cans, the smaller cans of the crushed pineapple. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And we're going to get that moving around. Just going to get that going on low speed because you don't want to be wearing the pineapple all over you. And then what I did was, you can leave these out if you want, but I love raisins and pineapple and rum. It just feels so, you know, I don't know, tropical. So half a cup of dark raisins, and I've mixed that with rum, 2 tablespoons of rum, just to give a little flavor, a little je ne sais quoi to our cake. So I'm actually going to put those in right now, so the rum is in there. If your raisins are hard, you can actually do this maybe 30 minutes and maybe just you know, let it sit, and then the raisins will soak up that rum and get rehydrated. All right, let me get another spoon, and then we're going to add our dry ingredients, and that's it. So this is very liquidy in here. So now I'm going to add my dry ingredients very slowly. Very slowly. Oh, I can smell all the spices. I can smell the pineapple. Very tropical feel. Very tropical feel in this kitchen now. I love it. All right. And my sheet pan's ready. Make sure you have everything ready, and make sure your oven has preheated for at least 15 to 20 minutes. And it comes up to temperature. My oven beeps when it's up to temperature. It gives me a little beep. It tells me a lot of things that I don't like sometimes when I do something wrong. But your oven should give you a little heads up. We are up to temperature. And if you're not sure ever of your oven's temperature, buy an oven thermometer in the grocery store and just stick it in the back of the oven so you always know what temperature your oven is. And if it's not at the temperature you want it to be, you really need to have the manufacturer come and take a look at it. All right? I'm going to give it one big whirl and stop. Remember, we have our raisins in here, and we have our beautiful pineapple in here. So I'm going to get this off. And this is going to bake. I'm going to look it up to make sure I get it right. About 35 to 38 minutes. When I bake this, sometimes it takes just a little bit longer than 35, but some ovens are different. So 35 to 38 minutes. And I'll show you what the batter looks like. Remember, clean off your paddle and always do a little go around on the bottom of your electric mixing bowl, because it's got that little, you know, I don't know, it has like a little depression in it. Some do, and some have like a little a little boop on the top. That's a good English word, right? No, it doesn't make any sense. But it actually, you want to just get it all in there. So I'll show you. So let me just show you what I got. So see, just go around, just fold. You don't want to overmix. Do not overmix. Looks like a really nice batter. You look like a really nice batter. It's not deaf. I shouldn't yell, right? So I'm just going around. Everything is beautifully, homogeneously blended. I'm going to pour it into the pan, Chef Gail. All right. And we're going to spread it around. Make sure it's, the key to really getting a nice level cake is to spread it evenly. And don't just use the rubber spatula or a spoon. I usually use a offset spatula, like a small one, and get all the good stuff out. And let me go grab my offset, get my little one, and just sort of spread it all around. Each corner, spread it. Don't expect your spoon to do it because it won't be enough. Just spread it, spread it. And don't touch the bottom because that'll ruin where you greased it and you want it to come out. But not before we frost it. Yum. All right. So again, my oven's ready to go. Got a little batter on there. It is nice and level. You usually will not have humps like a camel in your cakes if you level it first. I've never had a problem I started doing this, and I teach all my students to do it, and it works out really, really well. So start at 35 minutes and stick a small sharp knife in the middle. If it comes out clean, you're good. Remember, you got pineapple in here. It's wet. Raisins are wet, so you might need an extra minute or two. So 35 to 38 minutes at 350 degrees. See you back. So my pineapple rum cake is out of the oven, and it is cooled, and it's still at room temperature, and it's lovely. We're going to keep that over there. Time to frost it. So we're going to make our butter rum buttercream or butter rum frosting. So I have 3 cups of confectioner's sugar in here. I'm going to put it on my electric mixer, and I'm going to go grab my paddle attachment. And I have 5 tablespoons and a teaspoon of butter, unsalted, very, very soft, room temperature, and that is known as 1/3 cup. Believe it or not, did you know that? 5 tablespoons and a teaspoon is 1/3 cup. Now I have 1½ teaspoons of pure vanilla extract and a tablespoon of rum, real rum. We're going to put that in there. We have a tablespoon of milk that we're going to add. We're going to see how thick this is. Sometimes with confectioner sugar, sometimes you need more or less, but we're going to let this go. We're probably going to need at least 1 tablespoon of milk. So you don't want to put more rum in because then too rummy, right? Well, maybe some of you might like the rum, but if you want to add rum instead of milk, you can. So I'm going to add another tablespoon of milk because it's pretty thick. And I have extra milk just in case. Still needs a little more. I'm going to drizzle in a little more. And this is something you have to do on your own. You have to think about how soft you want your icing. Remember, this is just on the top. It's very simple, but spreadable. You want it nice and spreadable. Let me show you what it looks like. It looks very nice. See how nice that looks? Maybe still a little dry. We may add a little touch of the milk. If you wanted to add another touch of rum, go ahead. Scrape down the sides. I can smell the rum, so it's going to be really, really fragrant. Really nice, really light. All right, but spreadable. I'm just going to drizzle in a little milk. I have about 2 tablespoons here. I'm just drizzling. If you want a little bit more, you want it thinner, I want it nice and spreadable. A little bit more. I think we're done. I think we're done. Okay, we are done. Oh, nice. Look at this. Isn't that nice? That looks lovely. All right, see how nice that looks? Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, oh, see how it falls back in there and it's deliciously smooth, buttery and rummy. Yum. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way. And I have a little tiny sieve with cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and we're going to put that on top if we so desire. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So again, remember, electric mixer, go around, get everything in there. If you still feel like you need your extra milk, you can put it in. I don't think I do. I think it's nice. I think it's really nice and smooth. So I'm going to put it on. Just give it little plops, little spoonfuls or spatulafuls, and then we'll get our offset spatula and spread it. This looks so good. And it's going to be delicious when people cut into it, and there's the rum-soaked raisins and the pineapple, the crushed pineapple. Now, I didn't mention nuts, but if you like nuts, you can always add them. Some people, you know, a little polarizing with nuts. Some people don't like them. Some people may be allergic. So it depends. Isn't that lovely? Lovely. And if you want it thinner, because you want to drizzle it, add more milk. And then you can drizzle it all over your cake. Okay, this is beautiful. I love the contrast of the white icing next to our dark spiced pineapple rum cake. I like that. I like it. I think it looks good. I love contrasts. I love it. So just, you know, do you. Just smear, spread. Sort of looks like cream cheese. Sort of looks like cream cheese. And if you wanted to, you could skip some of the butter and actually add cream cheese instead. That would be good too. I was actually debating whether to make like a cream cheese frosting, but you know what? I just said buttercream all the way. And this is simple. This is just like a simple, beautiful, beautiful frosting. So something that is not fancy schmancy. It's just something, you know, you want to feed a bunch of people, and you just want to make it. Okay, so I've frosted my cake. It's delicious, and now we're going to take a little cinnamon in a little sieve, and we're just going to put a little tap. You don't have to overdo it. You don't want it to snow too much on here, but look how nice that looks. So it just shows you there's something with a little spice in here. Little cinnamon. You could even do a mixture of cinnamon and allspice and cloves, just like that's in the cake, or sliced pineapple. And there you have your delicious pineapple rum sheet cake to feed a crowd. I hope you become a subscriber, and I hope you make this recipe because it's awesome.